In this video, we will discuss the approach to study physiology. I'm going to share tips on how to, first of all, prepare for the class. Second of all, ensure that you are maximizing the amount of material you're going to understand and learn while in class. This will require students to pay attention during the lecture. And third, ensuring that you're getting adequate practice after class to make sure that you understand the important foundational concepts. As it pertains to preparation, divided into two categories, it all depends. Are you more of a visual learner or do you enjoy reading? For visual learners, I would suggest watching video before going to class, relevant for that day's material. For people who enjoy reading, I would suggest you reading the textbook, the relevant pages that are going to be talking about that class material. For physiology, I would suggest using a combination of both watching videos and reading the textbook. A good video resource to use for this course would be Kaplan videos. These videos will give you an overview of the key concepts you want to grasp before going into class. They will also be an excellent resource to use to study the material after class also. For those that enjoy reading, you can read Physiology Textbook by Linda Costanzo. This book will highlight the foundational concepts you want to be aware of before going to the lecture. I would highly suggest read the relevant pages that are pertaining to that particular lecture before you go. The process of preparation should take about 30 minutes of time. You want to take about 30 minutes of time to prepare for the lecture. This will give you the ability to set a foundation of what you're meant to gain from the lecture, and it will put you in a good position as you go and sit for the lecture. Pay attention during lecture time. In lecture, it's important to follow the professor as they teach. You can use an iPad notability app to take down the important things, but I wouldn't want you to be caught up trying to write down everything that the professor says. You want to follow along and be able to pick up the key concepts that are being discussed within the lecture. For example, let's say in that lecture, you're talking about the different types of movement of molecules from cell to cell. You want to write down the important concepts you want to pick up from that lecture, like in this case, the difference between simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. And then you want to be able to study these important concepts after the lecture to ensure that you have understood them. After the lecture, you want to go over the ones that you were having difficulty with, and you want to be able to tick them off to ensure that you're understanding the entire lecture. I'm very confident that you're a hardworking medical student, so I'm going to double tick. Practice. In physiology, it's important to give yourself the opportunity to apply the knowledge that you have gained from class. This is going to be one of those courses where you want to have a lot of practice. There are going to be three main different types of question banks I'm going to discuss that will be very helpful to give you that opportunity to apply your knowledge. I will be discussing them in order of difficulty, from the least difficult ones to the most difficult practice question banks. that can be used. The first questions you want to start off with will be Guyton and Hall Physiology Review practice questions. These questions will allow you to practice the fundamental concepts you have learned in class. They're going to be more of the simple kind of questions where they won't be too clinically detailed. However, testing if you are aware of the key concepts. After completing these questions, you want to go back and you want to review the questions you got wrong and which concepts they're coming from to allow you to go back to the lecture and be able to look at those concepts to make sure you understand them. After doing so, then you can try the second question bank. It would be Kaplan's physiology questions. These are going to be slightly more difficult and they're also going to be more clinically related. Once again, after finishing these questions, you want to go back and also go over the material that you have been getting incorrect and you want to solidify those concepts. So by now, you've done the Guyton and Hall questions, you've done the Kaplan question bank. The final question bank you want to practice is the UWorld questions. These will be the most challenging questions. However, by this point, you've been able to go over the concepts and solidify your knowledge, and you feel a bit more comfortable going into these questions. These will get you very prepared going into your physiology exam. Recapping the resources that were discussed in this video, we mentioned the 3 keys to learning are going to be preparation, the Physiology textbook by Costanzo, paying attention in class, which involved following along with the lecture, writing down some of the key concepts that you might want to go over in more detail. And then we discussed practice. We mentioned 3 question banks we would like you to go over. The first one being Guyton's and Hall physiology practice questions, and then Kaplan practice questions, and then we're going to have UWorld being the more difficult question bank. Feel free to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can contact MedTutors in the email provided in the description below.